Sometimes you go out hoping to get lucky when you look for stuff, and that's exactly what happens. It could be even bigger than anything you ever dreamt of. Just ask these guys. They found precisely what they wanted and much, much more. These are 20 of the luckiest things found in unexpected places. Before we continue, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more. These guys were on a treasure hunt, so when the metal detector beeped, they started digging and wouldn't stop till they found gold. Literally. They found what was probably the biggest gold nugget on the entire island. It tipped the scales at a hefty 1,671 grams. This blogger here was shooting a video for his channel, going away on his bike to yet another adventure. But then, he found a briefcase along the way. He spots it at the corner of the trail, then stops his bike and gets off to investigate what it is. We can see that it was clearly meant to be hidden. There was a hunk of metal covering it up, but not well enough to keep it unseen. He opens it to find that it's full of banknotes. It's almost like what happens in video games where you collect rewards as you go further on your quest.
You gotta be kidding me.
A US military drone washed ashore on Boynton Beach. This drone would be commonly used as an aerial target during weapons training. As soon as word spread, the Air Force promptly showed up in order to properly remove the drone. In this clip, we see an officer try to pry it free of the sand and move it, while they also work to keep people away from the drone, which had fuel in it as well as other devices attached. These YouTubers went to a private mine in Arkansas called the Ziggurat Mine to hunt for precious gems that are potentially worth millions of dollars. They might not have made $1 million, but they did make around half of that when they uncovered several crystals that are worth almost 500 grand when put together. This scuba diver was out at sea, and he's clearly looking for something. We see him search and sift through rocks for some time, and after setting aside some pretty surreal-looking sea animals, he finds a small sack and unties it. Inside, he finds an orange sphere, but there's more to it. It has some weird marks on it too. He persists and peels off the outer layer. There's another sack inside the second sack too, then a third sack, and finally, we see a massive diamond has been uncovered by this lucky swimmer. So it turns out that whale vomit is also referred to as floating gold and is an extremely valuable thing. Ken here is a 50-year-old dog walker who stumbled upon it while walking along the beach. He initially mistook it for a yellow rock, but upon closer inspection, found that it was his lucky day. This diver discovers $1 million, but not in the form of cash. He picks up one coin and looks at it, not believing what he's just found. $1 million in coins and chains. This was the treasure that was originally aboard the Spanish fleet in 1715. The treasure and the shipwreck had been sitting there since the ship crashed in 1715, and these guys were the lucky first ones to find it. This guy and his metal detector were on a treasure hunt at the beach. After walking around finding nothing exceptional for some time, he runs into a cube that's covered in duct tape on all sides. Clearly, there's something going on. He picks it up and tears the package with a pocket knife and finds out that he has just got himself $110,000.
Oh, man.
Today was indeed a lucky day for these guys. They went to a German World War II site and ended up discovering some lost treasure. They found a whole bunch of relics that had been left behind by the Wehrmacht, including a piece of a plate from 1940s Bavaria and a WHW badge that were collectibles. They also found a tiny ball that used to be attached to the end of the rope on grenades. These archaeologists found an old German tank buried deep within a swamp. They were remains of aircrafts used in the Second World War and somehow were in a decent enough condition. They didn't find any remains of the ones who were piloting it though. In total, they discovered 3 Soviet L-2s. They'd been searching for these relics for 2 years. This man is absolutely convinced, because of his trusty metal detector, that there is treasure hidden in this brick wall. He uncovers a small tin box and opens it to find some coins and unidentified trinkets inside. Depending on how old the box is, those coins could be worth a big sum of money. This guy looking for treasure got exactly what he wanted. The detector beeps, and that's his cue to start with the pickaxe. After going at it for a while, he finds a golden dagger that was in an ancient cave between some deep mountains. The dagger itself looks like some cursed object straight out of a movie. He might want to get that checked first. While excavating a site in search of World War II relics, these archaeologists found the decayed skeletal remains of SS soldiers who were buried in the trenches. They found one soldier's boot, and then dug further and found bones. Next, they found a whole box full of unused ammo. Then they dug some more and found a skull with the cap still on. They uncovered it to find the whole skeleton intact. This archaeologist discovered a rock that is now speculated as being the oldest rock ever carved by man. It was found in a forest not too far from a town in Bosnia. When the researcher looked at it, he concluded that this was the largest spherical rock in Europe. These guys, unlike everyone else on this list, weren't looking for treasure when they found it. They were just going about their job restoring an Iraqi tank that was displaced in the Gulf War. But then, they discovered real gold inside. At first, what they saw is a square hole in the bottom. It looked pretty suspicious, so they investigated further, and they then found 5 huge gold bars, each weighing 5 kilos. Adds up to 25 kilos worth of gold. After scanning the shoreline for hours in search of some discarded and forgotten treasure, this guy lucked out. He found a very rare and precious piece of gold jewelry from 2,000 years ago. It looks somewhat like a squashed ring, but hey, real gold. This guy found an 8-foot-tall massive Lego man at the beach. The weirdest part about the whole thing is how it's perfectly intact. There have been reports that just a year ago, the exact same Lego man washed up on the beach with the same thing written on its t-shirt. No real than you are.
That's amazing.
Most fishermen consider themselves really lucky if they stumble upon an oyster with a pearl inside. These guys, on the other hand, found 30 pounds of misplaced cocaine off the Charleston coast. The street value of that much coke is estimated at around $1 million. Not bad for a day's work. Alright, comment down below which of these discoveries you found the luckiest. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to Trend Joint for more. See you around!